Hey now everyone, Matt Haywood here from Star Wars Time to do the Easter egg and Star Wars franchise reference breakdown of the latest episode of Star Wars Resistance, which was titled The Platform Classic. I'll be honest with you, my friends, this was a stretch trying to dig up some Easter eggs and references for this episode, which was kind of a little standalone episode, didn't really add much to the series itself, or as I mentioned, bring in a lot of Easter eggs and references, but I tried, I found 6. Some of them are huge stretches, just bear with me. Let's get this thing started. Alright, in this first one, a mega stretch, so as advertised. But early on, we learned that Yeager has a brother named Marcus. Marcus Speedstar, he's another racer, he's a champion racer. And Doza reveals that Marcus is the champion of the 5 Sabers. So I wrote that down and looked it up, and the 5 Sabers Championship has been referenced in other Star Wars properties. Most recently, I believe, the Phasma comic. It's only been mentioned probably most predominantly in Star Wars Resistance, but the 5 Sabers Championship is not new to Resistance, so it made our reference list. Alright, so these next references are a little more obvious than that previous one here, and that's because we get some alien patrons in the bar, Aunt Z's bar. As you can see, there's a Zutton, aka Snaggletooth. There's an Ithorian, aka Hammerhead. And we also eventually see that Marcus has gotten himself mixed up with the Guavian Death Gang. Alright, so we get to see a few of those guys, and we first met them in The Force Awakens when they roll up on Han and Chewie's freighter because, you know, Han likes to get in trouble with death gangs. So like I said, these are straightforward, probably the best Easter eggs we got in this episode in terms of just clarity. Alright, this next Easter egg, we're entering the land of random, and if you can see over Yeager's shoulder there, that looks to me like a TIE fighter cockpit window. There you go. So, hey, Easter eggs, random. You never know what I'm going to pick up in the background, but it looks like Aunt Z has a TIE fighter cockpit window in her bar. And up next, we get a reference, this time a reference to hyperfuel, which we learned about in Solo. That comes in the form of coaxium. And we learned that Marcus used some hyperfuel to cheat, to try and beat Yeager when they used to be in the racing circuit. And that has kind of led to their relationship falling apart, at least what we saw in this episode. So, hyperfuel showed up in Resistance. Zoom zoom! Alright, so the Aces got a little action in this episode because there was a race, naturally, and if you notice, Grif Ship, he's the reformed TIE Fighter pilot Ace, looks very similar to not just a TIE Fighter, but also the Jedi ships back during the Clone Wars era. I really thought about Yoda's ship in particular and how similar they looked. So I know he's kind of flown before and been featured, but we got a good shot of it again this episode, and I had to kind of grasp at straws anyways for Easter eggs, so there you go. Grif Ship, very reminiscent of Yoda's and the Jedi ships from the Clone Wars era. And finally, we wrap with another random Easter egg. And if you can see there to the left of Yeager, that is a chair that is very similar looking to those featured in the Millennium Falcon. Yes, there they are. The navigation chairs. I think the chairs around the Dejarik table. I mean, so there you go. Looks like Aunt Z has got some good old Falcon-style Corellian Corvette navigation chairs in the bar. So that's it, people. Thanks for watching. Those are your Easter eggs and Star Wars franchise references for Star Wars Resistance, the platform classic. Thanks for watching. Matt Haywood here, signing off for StarWarsTime.net, because there's always time for Star Wars Time.